What do we have here? It's a box. Yes. And you haven't probably seen one of these videos in a long time, because I haven't done a repair in forever. But every once in a while, someone will contact me like, "Can you fix my board?" And I tell them I don't fix boards anymore, but well, I tell everyone I don't fix boards anymore. But every once in a while, someone will have a board and they're like, I'm like, all right, I'll fix it, because for whatever reason. Usually it's because it's a game that not many people fix, like this one. All right, I'm just gonna have to, I don't even know how to get this thing open. I'm just gonna cut it open. Oh, you know what? Let me try it this way. So what is this? What do you think it is? That's the $20 million question. It's big. It's thick. Oh, it's two boards. That's right. Keep that person's name private. I'm sure they like their name private. Yeah, we have a board here. Very well wrapped. Thank you, sir. Whoever shipped this to me, it's very well wrapped. And two of the same boards. Neither of them work, theoretically. If anyone who's been watching my channel can probably figure out what these guys are. Anybody? Anybody? That's right, these are carnival boards. So I got two carnival boards here. They look complete. Oh, this is nice. This guy's lucky. I tell everybody who has carnival boards, I may not be able to fix it if it's got the 40-pin chip here. The I think it's U51. That's a custom VIC. I think it's called the VIC chip. I don't actually even know what it's called. I can't fix those if it goes bad, because the only way to fix them is to pull a board from somewhere, or a working chip from somewhere else. I don't know anyone who has reproduced them yet. Sockets also do not look like the normal sockets. These seem pretty good. Usually their sockets are horrible. But yeah, we're going to fix these. So the first thing I usually do, because I usually take notes when I fix my games, is I will clean off the board somewhere and put a sticker which says, somehow identifies this board to me. So in my notes, I know which one it is. I keep track. So this will be board 1. And then I put a sticker on it. This will be board 1. And this next one will be board 2. I'm also going to go ahead and clean off this board. It's very dusty. I got some medical grade. They're only 70%. That's surprising. Medical grade rubbing alcohol. I'm just going to clean it off real quick. So I'm just cleaning it off here. I'm using a toothbrush to kind of help me get in there with the pad where it doesn't, well, maybe not. I'm using my fingers, but sometimes I'll also just use the screwdriver with a very light touch. This one's sliding away, so I don't want to rip up the traces, but just to get in here, clean off so I'm going to have to test them. And if you use chip testers, and I may not need to use my chip tester, but even anything you touch to these pins, the dust, like if you have let's say your HP logic analyzer, not logic analyzer, your HP TTL tip tester, if these pins are dirty and dusty, that will give you invalid results. And I don't think people realize just how badly they think maybe those tools aren't useful. They are very useful, but they have to have a really good connection, or else you will get just weird results. So be aware of that. And this board is pretty dusty. It's looks like a good clean, board in terms of, it doesn't look tacked up. It doesn't look like it's had any repairs done. And this looks, a lot of the boards use really what I would want to say cheap sockets and things that looked like they were always falling apart. This actually does not look to be the case with this board. This board looks really nice. So, and so does this other one. So, I probably should just wash, what I do normally is I just wash them off. I don't know why I didn't do that. It's a lot easier than doing this. And it's just dust. But whatever. Alright, fair enough. Let's get to work. I probably will wash that off when I'm done. I don't know. I mean, don't fix what's not broken. Anyway, so we got to put the power supply adapter on here, which I've hooked in to just work directly in mine. The coin-up circuit. When testing this game from a switcher, you actually have to intercept the reset signal, and I have something to do that. I may not even do that right now. I'm just gonna think I'm gonna turn it on and see what happens when I turn it on. I got to get my jam adapter. Okay, so here is my jam adapter. I don't remember which side is which. Here it is. I should label that. I haven't used this thing in so long. I don't remember the last time I fixed a board. I don't even know that I'll still know how to use any of my equipment. Forgot where the plugs went. That's not a good sign. Alright, so anyway. This should not work when I turn it on, but I'm going to go ahead and turn it on to see what happens. Because the reset signal should not be doing anything. Okay, and there we go. So let's just hook the fluke up and go. Well, I'll do my normal power thing. I have a switcher on there, so the power should be fine, but I do always say check the power first, then the reset circuit. In this case, again, I know power should be fine, but it's a good thing, because I have had, this harness itself actually is, I think I got some loose connections here, some broken connections, and sometimes like my joystick input's cut out. I just haven't had a time to mess with it. So I'm gonna check the power. Perfect. And we'll just check the power on coming into all the ports. Fine. 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 Alright, so we have power. I can't check the reset signal on this one. This is one of the rare games you can't check the reset signal because the reset signal is funky on this. You can test to make sure it's not held down, I suppose. Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and do the RAM test. So got my fluke with my Z80 pod hooked up here. Looks like it's working. That's good. I didn't think it would actually power on after it's been off for so long, because this thing I think has a failing power supply in it. Usually when I turn it on the first time forever, it just sits there and complains and resets for like 10 minutes and then it's fine. Capacitors are probably charging up. Yeah, so I don't even remember the memory ranges of this game, so I had to look it up. Can you believe that? Okay. So don't get old because you forget everything. I used to know the RAM ranges for this off the top of my head. I do not anymore. Alright, according to this, 8,000 through 8,000 FFF. According to my old notes. So let's do that. Let's turn this thing off. Take this chip out. Put this guy in there. And we're going to end up replacing this socket anyway. So there we go. Alright, now we'll power it up. Bus test. Oh, setup. More. No bus test. Bus test. Good. RAM. Let's do a RAM short. And then we'll do the RAM long, depending on what results we get. And you can see what's going on the screen. Can you see that? It should be little dots. You should see. Yeah. And this RAM short's still running. Oh, look at that. RAM short reads okay. Possible that the CPU is just bad. Let's go ahead and do a RAM long, just because I want to make sure there is no RAM issues. So this will take an hour. I'm gonna go play some pinball. See you guys in a little bit. Okay, so we can see here the RAM long test came back okay. So now we have to figure out what's up with this. Next test is I'm just going to put a different CPU in it just to make sure it's not the CPU, and then we'll test the ROMs. Before I replace the chip, I'm going to put my little board that can cause it to reset in there first. Let's do that. Because it might just come up and work. And that means it's... Okay, so we'll press the button. Okay. Did not do anything when I reset it. Alright, so let's go ahead and put a different chip in there. Again, that doesn't mean that just because it didn't do anything. But usually, when I do that reset, I should actually get some results. The screen should clear and I should see something. I did not, which is concerning. Actually, not concerning. It's probably good. So we're going to put another chip in here. Try it again and see what happens this time. Look at that. With just this chip. That is very rare that happens. I very rarely see that, honestly. So this chip is bad. Yeah, it's fixed. I'll probably do some more testing of it, obviously. Hook up my controls and make sure it works. But yeah, it looks good. That was nice. So here we have board 2 from the same gentleman. And so yeah, on that other board I'm gonna test all the other stuff just to make sure it's working, the sound and the controls. I can't check the sound on the game because I don't have the sound circuits, but I can check to see that the sounds are occurring correctly, that there's nothing getting in their way, basically, because this sends a signal to the soundboard. I can check to make sure that the signals are all getting out okay, that are being generated okay. So yeah, now we're going to put this board on. Alright, so we got number 2 on there. Again, I'm just gonna make sure it's not working out of the box here. I am going to put my chip thingy. This allows me to boot the game up. The Carnival normal game with the normal power supply has a weird power on circuit and a weird reset circuit, and you hook it up to a switcher, it won't work. I mean, it will work. You have to, this one circuit that kicks the game and says go ahead and play, go ahead and start up, reset, basically, does not work. And without that circuit, you know, so this lets me manually do it, basically. This manually lets me toggle that circuit. Okay, so now we have More junk. We'll press the button and okay, it's resetting. So it looks like it was able to boot up and then reset. All right, so something's up with that. You know, it's just the same as always. I'm not going to retest the power because I already tested the power, and again, I have the power supply. I'm just going to test the RAM and see what we have. This chip looks like someone solder onto the chip. It's weird. You know what? I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna see if there's just a bad chip. I hope it's not, because I would feel bad charging someone for that. In my old days, I wouldn't, but my time is very, very precious right now. I don't have a lot of it. Okay, so it's still resetting with this chip. With this chip, it's still having the same issues. So it's not the chip. Probably not the chip. I mean, it still could be a bad chip also, but let's go ahead and put this thing in and do the tests. So, what do we do? Bus test first. Bus test okay. RAM short. 8,000 to 8 FFF, and we'll let that run. See what we get. I'd be surprised if... It's funny, it's always memory on these games. On Carnivals and Sega Gremlin game. These Vic boards almost always is RAM. I very rarely have an instance where it's not the RAM. So if it's not the RAM, it may be the ROMs on this. Maybe something else. It will be interesting to find out. It's very rare that I have an issue where it's not the RAMs on these, because these RAMs just, they take 3 different voltages rather than just +5, and it's yeah. Right now I'm just feeling around to see if any chips are getting hot, because sometimes the other problem is these bipolar. You can't see me touching around. These bipolar ROMs or bipolar PROMs. I've had them be flaky where they just get really hot, and so it'll work for a second, for like a few seconds, and it's not, because the bipolar is bad. Nothing's getting really hot, and you can usually tell it because they will burn. Like, you touch it for a second, and it will burn your hand when that's the case. I mean, literally, just like going like that would literally blister my finger, or cause it to hurt badly. Not just, oh, it's hot. Like this one right here is hot. Not hot, it's warm. Nah, not even really warm. Never mind, it's not even hot. Sometimes they get hot, but they don't hurt. Okay, so we got a RAM short. Okay, we'll do the same. We'll do the RAM long. To really exercise that RAM. And yeah, I'll be back in an hour. I'm going to play some more pinball. So now RAM test is coming out okay, which means it's probably not the RAM. I'm looking at these chips, these EPROMs. One of these looks like the pin is bent up a little bit. I don't know if you can see that on here. No, you're not going to be able to see it, but this one looks like the pin might not be making good contact. I don't know if you can see that. Let me get that in the light. That pin was bent back. So that's weird though, because I can't imagine this game was having trouble, and someone took the chips out. I mean, everything seemed to be working besides that. So I don't know. That's interesting. But yeah, by visual inspection, you can. The one chip looked like it was not lined up like the others. It looked like it was bent out, and certainly that chip is that's an address line on these guys, if I remember correctly. So now let's see what happens. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna just put the chip back in. I'm gonna eventually just check all the ROMs anyway, but signatures. So here we go. The reset button and see if that fixes the problem. No. Oh, I put the bad chip in. Haha. Good thing I labeled this. I literally put the chip that says bad on it in. That's another evidence that that chip is bad. Can you see that? No, trust me, it says bad. The reset button, and okay, so maybe there was something. That doesn't make any sense. Well, there we go. Nope. Alright, something's definitely not right. So we'll figure it out. Now, I inserted the chip badly. I'm going to just put my chip back in. Because I do not like that chip. I do not like it here. I do not like it there. I do not like it anywhere. Because it is... looks like maybe if someone desoldered it. I don't know. It's got solder points everywhere. It's got little solder globs everywhere. And like the pins look fragile. Okay. So that's much better. We do have some... what's that? That looks like some weird artifacts. It might have been because I just reset it. Yeah, okay. Alright. That looks good. So, it was... what was it? Was it bad? I can't believe that. Because it couldn't have been working before. Someone had to pull those chips out because it wasn't working. That doesn't make any sense to me, but... well, there you go. These are 2 easy fixes. I'm gonna again test these things out. I'm probably could also have some bad sockets in here. These sockets are pretty dirty, so I'm gonna replace the sockets for the guy and do some more sanity checking on it, and just make sure. I'll probably check all the ROMs ranges just to make sure everything's good there. Check all the controls, and I probably will. I may end up replacing these sockets because this sockets do not look as clean on this one. They don't look bad, but. I don't know.